What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. It's episode number 6, and today we're starting off by seeing Patrick Vigers has been sold for around £550,000. We also risk losing 2 players on free transfers in January, but I don't think I've used those 2 players since the season began, so I'm totally fine with that. And for the first game of today's episode, Waldorf here at home on the back of our big victory against Victoria Köln in the last episode. I believe now 5 games without a defeat, so pretty decent run for Dynamo Dresden. Everything going according to plan, but 5 minutes before the break into this game here, well, this was just ridiculous. FIFA makes an incredible last-ditch challenge here on the man going through one-on-one. And come on, man, I've talked about it before. I talked about it in my Cork save as well. At this level, the standard of defending and goalkeeping is really bad, as is the standard of officiating. That was never a penalty. Clearly wins the ball first. Great last-ditch tackle. Awful refereeing decision, and a chance for our visitors to go in front right before the break. But ball don't lie. Kevin guesses the right way, gets low down to his left-hand side, and our number 1 makes a big save. It keeps us back on level terms. Justice, never a penalty. Awful decision, but what a great save there. Gets down low to his left and pushes it away with both hands. Ball don't lie. So it's still 0-0. 7 minutes before full time here. Still stuck at 0-0. And I was thinking, my goodness gracious me, rarer than a solar eclipse, I'm about to see a stalemate in the lowest tier of football in this country. So it's still 0-0. I was thinking, where on earth is that first goal? Well, 4 minutes to go, he scored a brace against Victoria Köln. And I'll mention this guy recently has been coming into his own and starting to pick up the slack when Ransford Yeboah is not firing on all cylinders. And as Finn Ole Becker held the ball up really well there, rolls it across to Daphne, runs through, runs onto it, strikes it first time and bangs it in for the late game winner in a 1-0 victory. So close to our first game this season where we failed to score, and a goalless draw. That would have been nuts, but Daphne restores normal order there right before the end of the game in a 1-0 victory. So that's it then, officially at the halfway point of the season. We currently are 7 points clear of Victoria Köln. League's highest scorers with 45 goals in 19 games. Only 2 defeats so far, both away from home. Yes, 19 goals. I think we're the 5th best defensive team in the division, but it's still not been that great on the defensive end. But look at the top scorers right now. This is why we are where we are right now. 28 goals between Ransford Yeboah and Daphne. Daphne with that goal there is now into double digits with 10. But Ransford Yeboah, 18 goals in 19 games. He's surely on course for the Golden Boot, as Daphne has 13 assists, by the way. What a great support striker he's been for Ransford Yeboah. And the question is, as you see, Brol here is 5th in the clean sheets charts, but I can't see him winning the Golden Glove due to how poor my defending is in this year's FIFA at this level. The question is, and I haven't mentioned it yet, but I have been thinking about it. Ransford Yeboah, 40-goal season, joining Ivan Toney and Samuel Bell, maybe. Let's just pump the brakes a little bit. Let's just calm ourselves down. There's a chance, and I know it's not going to be as meaningful until we get to the top tier, but yeah, there's definitely a chance. He's certainly on course to give himself that opportunity. Anyway, transfer window opens as January arrives. As you can see, some very interesting emails here, though. As you can see, we knew Vigers was going, but as you can see, we've lost 2 of our players on loan, Stefaniak and Meyer, who are both regulars off the bench. Our attacking midfielder and our left back to play left mid, they'd both scored 2 goals each since the season began. And whilst they have, of course, lost their place in the first team to Diawusi and, of course, Albert Simon out of the academy as well, I still use them pretty frequently. Yet their parent clubs, decided to recall them from the loan spells, and I was like, really? I mean, they talked about a lack of game time and a lack of minutes. I guess the minutes off the bench don't count, because they'd played frequently, and you would have seen it during the course of this season. They've both been coming off the bench regularly, even when not starting games. So I guess that's the not necessarily a bug or a glitch, but I guess the parent clubs don't count games off the bench as enough of a reason why to keep them out on loan right now. So that's kind of frustrating, really, because they've both been really good squad players for us, but unfortunately we've lost them both. They've gone back on loan, gone back from their loan spells to their parent clubs. I don't think we'll miss them that much, to be fair. I think we'll be okay, but it's still pretty frustrating, because again, I've been given them minutes, and you've seen it throughout the course of the season. For some reason, the clubs there on loan from weren't happy with that. So another scouting update and academy update. I'm going to change Hoffman's position to right back. Obviously, I know you're probably sitting there thinking, why? Because you don't play with fullbacks. But I'm probably going to try and train him as a right back / defensive right midfielder. I think that's where I'll be best at. But also, as you saw our January fixtures there, we've got 3 fixtures coming. One thing you might have noticed is I rejected a loan bid for Sasha Hubner, and also big bids here for Albert Simon from Celtic, and also one for Ransford Yeboah from Dusseldorf as well. You might notice that there is no DFB Pokal game for Dresden this year. Now, I didn't notice myself, but I only assume that means that the teams in the 3rd tier don't go into the cup. I didn't realise that. I'm pretty confident the 2nd tier team's going to the DFB Pokal, as we rejected a bid here for Bayern Munich for Albert Simon. I thought was really, really cool. The biggest club in Germany wants to take our best young wonder kid. He's going nowhere, lad. Sorry. But yeah, I didn't realise this, but the teams in the 3rd tier don't go into the cup, which is really interesting, and also kind of a good thing as well, because this season our #1 and sole focus is on gaining promotion to the 2nd tier. And that means it's our sole focus by default, because there's no cup games. Of course, I love a cup run when you're managing a lower tier side, but we don't get the chance to because there's no DFB Pokal games. But again, I'm kind of pleased with that. It means we've got more rest time, and we can focus solely on promotion to the 2nd tier of German football. Still, with the second game to this episode here, oh my goodness gracious me. You know, I rarely show replays here, but taking on our side here away from home, my goodness gracious me, Jonas David got absolutely murked there, slipped to the floor as our host would go 1-0 up. I mean, it was bad on me, but I still wanted to show you the replay anyway because it looked really cool. They got absolutely done in there as the host went 1-0 up. We would find our leveler through Diawuse, but unfortunately couldn't find a winner in this game. So 1-1 the final score there. Frustrating not to get back-to-back victories in that one. So 1-1, disappointing slip up there, and also we saw Cruiser looks as though he's going to leave on a free transfer. Again, I'm totally fine with that. I don't think I've used him since the season began. He's a right back in this team. He's often on our bench, and he does have, to be fair, I think he's got the team player or possibly the solid player trait, which I absolutely love, but I've not really used him at all. And as we know, he's 27 years old, and we're prioritising youth in this team, so him leaving on a free transfer is not a big deal, especially since we keep him till the end of the season regardless. So following game here, FC Magdeburg coming to take us on here in Dresden. This is a really frustrating game. In the first half, I was absolutely dominating. I had like 3 or 4 great chances, but just for some reason, I just kept on getting caught up by the last man. Those games where it's like you keep on, thinking as though you're going to go through 1-on-1, but the defenders seem to outpace you like Usain Bolt. Could barely get away, even when I thought it was going to go home clear. But just after the restart, Albert Simon got another goal to make it 1-0. Then Daphne scored again. This guy recently is really coming into his own and picking up the slack when Ransford Yeboah is not firing all cylinders. So 2-0 to Dresden, a chance to make it 3 right before the end of the game, which would do so as well. Diawuse makes it 3-0. And this is so cool as well. Even when we don't see Ransford Yeboah scoring all those goals, he's got a supporting cast. I find that so crucial in FIFA as well. Obviously, there have been some saves I've done where I've had what you call one-man teams, if you will, but I always find it so important to know you can get a source of goals outside of your main man, because every now and then you will start to struggle with him. It's very rare you'll go for a whole season with one striker or whoever your main source of goals is always scoring in every single game. Occasionally, you're going to poor form with him. When that happens, you need someone else to pick up the slack. Diawuse has been amazing this year. As we know, Daphne now into double digits, been fantastic recently too. So, yeah, it's just so cool knowing at the moment we're getting some help for Ransford Yeboah when I'm not firing all cylinders with our number 35. Still, final game of today's episode here. Very, very excited for this one. I mentioned this team earlier on in the save. This side, as we know, they're from Munich, but they're the Turkish community of Munich. Really, really interesting team. Very, very cool club identity. And I must say, I mentioned it in the reverse fixture. Certainly in the future, I would not be against doing a Turkish. I know I've got quite a few Turkish fans, but I wouldn't be against doing like a Turkish club and country using this team in the German Football League and making them a fully Turkish club. I think that would be a really interesting thing to do, because that's not like a rule for this club at all. They've got a lot of German players, but I think that'd be really cool, to do a Turkish CNC with these guys, despite being in the German Football League. But we were 2-0 up in this game regardless. Diawuse back both of our first 2 goals. The 8 minutes to go. Hasn't been on the score sheet very often recently, but if you think this guy's lost a step and lost his finishing touch, think again. Ransford Yeboah just about to be replaced. Final kick since coming off. He was very, very tired indeed. Makes it 3-0. Yeah, I've been struggling a little bit with Ransford Yeboah in recent games, we'll be honest here, but he's still the top scorer in the team, still the top scorer in the league, and no doubt about it, still the star player for Dynamo Dresden. So 3-0 the final score. score, back-to-back victories, back-to-back 3-0 wins, and as you can see, 16 games to go. We've now opened up a 9-point gap on Duisburg. Yes, the boys, the Zebras. We opened up a 9-point gap on them now, still the league's highest scorers as well, and as we know, 16 games remaining, still in the top 2. I'm aiming for in February or March time to go into a double-digit point gap. If we can do that, I'm pretty confident we'll be able to run away with the league title. But that will end today's episode of the Common Country, guys. Big thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, and if you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of C&C featuring a transfer deadline day signing very soon.